All right, Karen. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
So, I'm also doing well. So, welcome to our small interview this evening. And I have a few questions just to ask you concerning the experience that you've gotten as we are here in Kakuma. And so, the first question will be, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
My name is Caren Otadoh. I am a child of God, a Christian and a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm also a daughter, a sister, a friend, and I would say a servant of God. I also recently finished my medical school, so I am also a young doctor. Yes.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would like to ask, as you came here to Kakuma, could you tell me some of the things that you experienced? And the first thing is, what did you like most about the place?
Well, that would be easy to answer because I had no expectations for one. So that was a good thing because many things were okay. But then the few things that stood out for me were the people I came with, the people I found here, and the kind of experience that I have had here. So as regards the people I came with, I've gotten to know each one of them better. It's been a good team. And all of them have impressed on me strongly in different ways. So I thank God. I mean, I have godly circle of friends, but then this was an experience where we would just sit and we would be having casual conversations, but then a Bible study emerges from the conversations, and that was very rich. That was a nice experience.
What else did you like?
About the individuals?
About the experience.
About the experience.
Before you go to the challenges, that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the people who are here, I've met. We are staying with Sudanese, the Nuer specifically, but then I've interacted with the Dinka. I've interacted with Oromos, the Ethiopians. Very kind people. And there was one Burundi gentleman who I met. Yeah. So for me, I usually say I'm hospitable, but they challenge that.
Okay.
The level of hospitality is literally out of this world. They go beyond their own comfort. Yeah. So that has given me a higher perspective to service, Christian service, even just at home. When hosting strangers or hosting visitors, I liked how they treated us. Yeah, every single one of the people I have mentioned. Then the other thing that I mentioned that I liked about the experience was the kind of the experience I gained from it. I was teaching health classes. I was assigned lectures on common diseases. So at first it was a challenge coming up with the specific diseases that I need to talk about, considering I'd never come here. But then by God's grace, and I can tell you it was God's grace alone, we were able to tackle specific things that people experience here. So even beyond my lectures, people would walk up to me and ask for consultations, ask questions, and that was a good way of ushering me into the medical world and practice. Yes.
Right, so tell me a little bit about the challenges that perhaps you met while at Kakuma.
The challenges here. Well, Okay, it's a different environment. There are a few comforts that are at home that are not here. See, this is my first mission experience. I've done like health expos or camps or things like that, but then that could deceive you because there's a level of comfort in particular types of ministry. But here was the real world. And so just a few minor things that were a bit uncomfortable, but then I'm not complaining much about them because, again, hospitality and the people I was with, and just the fact that I was here for service made it much better. Another challenge would be there were times immediately after the presentations at church when everyone was going back to the home. I would have to stay back for consult after consult after consult, and there's fatigue. But then that also is preparing me for my life work, so
I like that.
I thank God for the challenges.
Amazing. So I'd like to ask, could you talk a little bit about your experience with Christ and how it is that you have walked with him until this point, and why you chose to serve, because not everyone would come to Kakuma if they were asked to come here. So would you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I grew up in an Adventist home, third generation. Adventist principles in the house. But then I got very comfortable at some point in my religion. It was more of congenital. Is that okay? It felt inherited. But slowly, God showed me the richness of experiencing him as a person as opposed to the inherited trend, like Jews. And so I can tell you God called me through service. Yes. And especially because of my interests, my hobbies, I liked leading out in particular things. So God called me from secular leadership into church leadership, and that helped me grow a lot because of the challenges and also the benefits, just the things that I learned from service. And I continue to grow. Why did I come to Kakuma? I'm not sure. But then I was happy to help, especially something that is related to the kind of profession and line that I took. And also learning more about alternatives and healthier lifestyles and preventive medicine. That was going to be a rich experience. And service is something that I've always liked to do. So I accepted the invite to come to Kakuma.
So, aside from serving the Lord, do you have any hobbies that you have? Do you have any things that you do on the side that maybe you want people out there to know? Or anything that you can share concerning that?
Well, something I have alluded to in this conversation, I love to host a lot. and I thank God for what I've learned here about hosting. I also like to cook.
Cooking?
Yes.
All right.
So those are
you self-trained, or did you go to a school where you did any culinary arts? Or
self-trained sounds a bit vain, but I could say I've learned a lot from my mother, from my older sister. I've learned a lot from friends. I would take recipes and try to fit it into what I like. So experimenting a little. So yeah, that's how I've learned.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
So, as we come to a close, I'd just like to ask, how would you describe Kakuma in one word? The experience that you had.
The experience
In
that I've had
totality.
in Kakuma.
If you were to use one word, one adjective to describe the experience that you've had here, what would it be?
Do I have to use one word? Can I use a small phrase?
You could use a phrase.
Okay. It's been a good challenge.
A good challenge.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. I agree. I like that. So a good challenge. And the last question I'll ask, if you had the opportunity to do it all over again.
Definitely. Definitely.
Praise God.
Yes.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Praise God.
And by God's grace, we can follow up on the things that we have started here. It's my prayer that we don't just excite people, teach them something, and then not have any follow-up. And then from also what I've seen, there's a lot of need here.
True.
And I have been praying for God to show me ways in which we can help. So by God's grace, we can follow up as a team or individually as God calls us to.
Amen. Amen. Praise God for that.
Yes.
And so, do you have any last words perhaps that you'd like to leave us with before we close this interview?
Any last words? Maybe a phrase I like to say, that God always has the best thing at the best time for us.
Amen.
And that is a personal testimony I have.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. So, thank you so much, Caren.
Thank you too.
Really enjoyed the interview.
Me too.
And God bless you.
God bless you.